My only crime was being happy. That's all I did. I hate you.
Holy shit, Danny.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Gym Pack Zone, where I, James Gisanti, cover everything Impact, and remind you that Impact is even on Thursdays. But you know that because you love me, you love being here, and guess what? I love you, and I appreciate having you here. So this is the second week post Slammiversary, and we are still very much dealing with the impact, no pun intended, of that show. We are seeing a lot of those feuds that went into that pay-per-view continuing, evolving, and we are seeing some new ground being broken as well, with some new challenges being laid down. I just want to start off by saying one thing. One of the hottest stories right now, or one of the funniest stories right now in the wrestling world, is what happened on Dynamite last night. That after the Taya Valkyrie and Britt Baker women's match, there was a beautiful shot of a sign in the crowd saying, "Book women better, book the women better," and we've seen a lot of people talk about it. We've seen a lot of people have their opinions on what that would mean. Lance Storm tweeted, just watch Impact if you want better women's wrestling. And that is very true. That is very true. Impact has a better women's division, has a better booking of the women's division. And while I know that's not what anybody is talking about right now, we just want to see Impact's. We just want to see AEW book their women better. I am getting sick and tired of people recognizing that Impact is doing so much right, but still not giving this company the credit it deserves. So that was a little bit of a tangent. I bring it up simply because of how much women's wrestling there was tonight and how well the women's division was booked tonight, in my opinion. There was some very interesting choices made, stuff that I don't necessarily know I would have predicted going into the night. But that's fine. We're going to get into it, and we're going to start off with the first match of the night, which was a Knockouts division match, a tag team match with the former Knockouts tag team champions, the Coven, taking on the new current Impact Knockouts world champion, Trinity, and Danny Luna. Hello, JL. Yes, Trinity was on. We're talking about her right now. This was a standard tag team match that made Trinity look very good. The Coven I'm sad to see them already sort of slipping into this role of the team that helps boost other people. When they debuted as a team, when Kylan King made her debut in Impact, I had very high hopes for these two women. I don't want to see them be the jobbers to the stars. I don't think they're going to be. I think they're going to fit into that upper mid-card heel tandem that's going to help elevate the baby faces to the main event. But regardless, we did have... I like Matt Striker. I'm right there with you, JL. I think Matt Striker is a very good commentator. MLW is not good enough for him. I think you could say that about everybody in MLW. I don't think MLW is good enough for anybody that's attached to MLW. But the end of the match saw Trinity hit a full Nelson Buster and get the 1-2-3 on Taylor Wilde. This then brought out the former Knockouts champion, Deonna Purrazzo, to inform Trinity that she will be using her rematch clause, and they will have their rematch at Emergence on August 27th. The first match was very, very good. I'm very much looking forward to seeing them running it back, even though I'm sure Trinity is just going to win again. The crowd is loving Trinity. The crowd still loves Deonna Purrazzo. So anytime these two women are going to be duking it out in the ring, it's going to have big fight feel to it. So I'm all for it. We then had a loser leaves match with Johnny Swinger and Zicky Dice. His protege, Zicky Dice. As we know, Johnny Swinger has been on the rise in his own eyes, trying to get a world championship title match. And he needed to get to 50 wins to get that. I believe that was taken away from him, but this became a loser leaves match. And if Swinger won, he would get his shot at a title. After some antics and silliness and blah, 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 Swinger betrayed Zicky, got the 1, 2, 3, and Zicky Dice is out of Impact. I don't know what they're doing here. I guess Zicky either didn't want to renew his contract or Impact didn't want to renew him. I don't know where Johnny Swinger goes from here, as he's funnier when he's bouncing off of other people. But sorry to see you go, Zicky Dice. I wish you the best in your future endeavors. I love your podcast. You guys hit the mark every time. I love listening. Oh, okay, thank you. Who the a former Impact superstar. I miss you, Nick. I miss you, Rev. I miss you. I hope you had a good time at the game. I even hope the Mets won for you. Good riddance with a name like Zicky Dice. I'm not going to argue with you. This tandem never did anything for me, but you know, it is what it is. Going back, I missed this segment. We're going to cover it now. There was a backstage segment as Moose and Brian Myers confronted X Division champion Lio Rush last week as they were doing the beatdown on Alex Shelley and Kushida. Lio Rush didn't take part. He left, and the three of them continued the assault on their own. They question why he did this, and he questions why they would partner up with someone like him. That him being Bully Ray, who sneaks up on Leo and is questioning who he thinks he is, that he hasn't been there long enough to be asking questions. And if, as cliche as it sounds, his words, they're either with him, he's either with them or against them. They have a choice. I don't know what you want, dude. You have fun here. I'm still at the game. We're in a rain delay. Jesus, dude. Be safe out there. It's kind of crazy with this lightning and the harsh rain. I was driving through it. I didn't like it. X Division has been dead since Suicide. It's seen a pickup, JL. It's seen a pickup. There was definitely a highlight. That was good. That was actually really good. I really wasn't. If I could put myself in the penalty box for 2 minutes, I would, but then nobody would be able to do the podcast. That was really good. JL, bravo, sir. We then had a replay of the pay-per-view when Johnny Bravo aligned with Dango to help him defeat Santino. Dango then cuts a little promo where he bashes Scott D'Amore and renames Johnny Bravo to Alpha Bravo as his personal security. Okay. Johnny Bravo is somebody who has a history with Impact. Thank you very much. But haven't seen him in a long while. So I wish him luck. Let's see how this works out with Dango. We then have another backstage segment after the Johnny Swinger match where Yuya Uemura and Joe Hendry are talking to Santino. Yuya gets it in his head that he could be champion, but Joe Hendry tries to take it back, calm him down and say, well, he wants his shot at it. But because they're such good friends, he can handle being in a triple threat next week for the Digital Media Championship. We then had a backstage promo where Nick Aldis spoke about his upcoming match with Eric Young for the main event of the night. Following that, we had a knockouts match between two halves. You're hiding in the Pizza Club. I heard Pizza Club. I'm tired, guys. The Piazza Club. I have fun with that. Have fun. Your glasses. You can't be seen without your glasses. I love you, dude. I'm sorry, pal. I'm gonna just ignore that. But anyway, we then had our knockouts match, which saw one half of each team. MK Ultra, the tag team champions, Masha Slamovich and Killer Kelly, Masha being the representative of the team, take on Giselle Shaw of the Shantaraj. Still love that name. Great stuff. So, guys, I've been very clear. I am a big fan of basically the entire Knockouts division. I love Masha Slamovich. I love Killer Kelly. And I've been a big proponent of Giselle Shaw for a while. It's been exhausting to see her lose time and time again. Imagine my surprise when we had the woman who loses every match defeat a woman who has, I think, only lost once in this company. That's right. You're hearing it here first or second if you watched the show beforehand. Giselle Shaw pinned Masha Slamovich 1-on-1. Definitely setting up for the Shantaraj to take on MK Ultra. Love that tag team name, by the way, for the Impact Knockouts tag team titles. Was there some interference? Was there some nonsense that happened? Yes. There were distractions. There was some slight interference. Yep, that is a huge win for Shaw. It's a huge win for Giselle Shaw. Very happy for her. Masha, now that she's champion, as weird as it sounds, she's protected enough that she could take a loss here and there, and it's okay. But yes, big win as she hits a huge running knee on Slamovich after being distracted by Jay Vidal and Savannah Evans, setting up for the 1-2-3. Very interesting to see where they go. Very interesting to see Giselle Shaw getting another tag team title shot, this time with a more stable partner, but against a very dominant team in MK Ultra. So looking forward to that match when it happens. Most likely, I guess, at Emergence. We then have footage from last week where Jake Something, who made his Impact return at Slammiversary, beat Kevin Knight on last week's episode of Impact. They then do a vignette for Jake Something, and I got to tell you, I know I keep saying it, but I'm very high on this guy. I see a lot of potential for him. He's a stud, and he just looks better and better with every performance, in my opinion. So let's see what they have in store for Jake Something moving forward. We then had another backstage segment as Kazarian is talking to his wife, former knockout Tracy Brooks. Tracy's been involved in the feud with Eddie Edwards and Kazarian, as Alicia Edwards has been in Eddie's corner. So Tracy's been there to sort of even the odds. Tracy just wants 5 minutes in the ring with Alicia. It could be unsanctioned. Even though she's not a wrestler anymore, she wants to get her hands on Alicia Edwards. Kazarian cuts her off, says she's not a wrestler anymore, and that he's just happy she had his back. And he doesn't want her to get hurt. They leave together, and I'm sure we're going to be getting an intergender tag team match sooner than later. We then go into a tag team match where the Time Splitters, the world champion Alex Shelley, teaming up with number one contender for the X Division Championship, Kushida, took on Moose and Brian Myers. Now, the Time Splitters are not a new team. They have made their name in Japan. They even appeared in NXT, weirdly enough. But this is their first time teaming in Impact as a team and not a trio with Chris Sabin as Time Machine. So a little bit of history here, little bit of history here being made. Very excited to see them. They are a very exciting team. As much as I love the Motor City Machine Guns, who doesn't love seeing things taking a little bit of a twist? Jake Something is simultaneously the best and worst name ever. If you lean into it, it's amazing. And that's exactly what they do. You did. Very good tag match. Very good tag match between these four men. It was as explosive as you'd imagine any Moose match or any Kushida match would be, or any Chris Sabin match, Alex Shelley match would be. Brian Myers was there too. Lots of back and forth before ultimately Shelley manages to get Myers into a roll-up pin right in front of Moose, I gotta say. Kind of weird that it happened, and got the 1-2-3. Yay, yay, yay. Good guys win. It doesn't matter, as Moose and Myers then continue the beatdown after the match, continuing to just lay the assault on the world champion and the X Division #1 contender. Bully Ray eventually joins them. So Josh Alexander, somebody who returned at Slammiversary and has made it clear he's wants a shot at his world title. He comes down to even the odds, try to making the save for the good guys. And then Lio Rush finally makes his choice and sides with the bullies, sides with the bad guys. He legitimately got bullied into being a part of this team. Very interesting way to get there. I wonder if it's going to stick. But as they have the numbers advantage for a brief moment, those numbers are negated by a returning Chris Sabin. A Chris Sabin we haven't seen since Slammiversary, since Lio Rush took his X Division championship in a very brutal assault that happened before the match started and during the match. Happy to see Sabin make the return. He got a small note of revenge over Lio Rush, as he and the rest of his compatriots all laid a beating on him as the bullies watched on from the ramp. I guess, I mean, I know at Emergence we're gonna have an 8-man tag. Feels very placeholdery. That's fine. I think the biggest questions to come out of this are, how long is Lio Rush going to side with the bullies, and will the title implications be impacted by Josh Alexander's alliance with the Time Machine team? We'll see. Moving on, we had a quick flashback to 2014 when Eric Young upset, maybe, I don't know, Nick Aldis for the world title, highlighting that there is a bit of history between these two men before their main event match tonight. We then had another vignette for Alan Angels as he questions Heath Attack from last week. I look, every member of the Dark Order is always going to have my heart. I've made it clear, except for maybe 10, maybe. I don't know. Learn how to beat up a fucking security guard. But anyway, I'm rooting for Alan Angels. A feud with Heath, as much as I love Heath, might not be the best indicator of what they have in mind for him. But at the same time, Heath is a reliable worker, a safe worker, and a pretty beloved babyface. So a win over Heath might do a good job of helping to elevate Angels little by little. We then had a match. Between Speedball Mike Bailey and Zachary Wentz of the Rascals. We saw some footage from last week when the Rascals were causing trouble as Speedball was walking by. They threw popcorn at Speedball, which led to a confrontation. We're all adults here. Popcorn, biggest weapon in the business. Let's be cool. Let's be reasonable, guys. Reasonable. Totally not cool. Jim Pack versus 10 is feud of the year. Could he beat me in a match? I'm sure. Could he beat me up in general? Also sure. I rest well knowing I could take out security guards better than he ever will. And really, isn't that what it's all about? But going back to the match, this was an X Division match. It's what you expect. There was a lot of intensity, a lot of high flying, a lot of fast-paced action. The finish came after Bailey hit a super kick to counter a double kick from Wentz, and then Trey Miguel, as he's going for the pin, Trey Miguel interrupts and pulls Wentz out. The ref tries to eject Miguel, but he just refuses to go. He's not going to do it. His words, he's not going to do it. And quite frankly, it's the first time I think I've seen somebody say that. What happens if you don't leave? Is there a fine? Do you get suspended? Does the match just turn to a disqualification? I don't know. I really wanted to see where this went. Unfortunately, we didn't have time, as Wentz took Miguel's spray paint and sprayed Bailey in the face as the ref wasn't paying attention. He then hits him with a headlock DDT and gets the win. they clearly have plans for the Rascals. They clearly have plans for both Wentz and Trey Miguel, who was killing it as X Division champion for a good long run with the company. So let's see where they go. I'm sure a tag team title shot is soon in their future. I would like to address one thing, though. Not with tonight's episode of Impact, but regarding Speedball Mike Bailey. There's been a little bit of discourse online over a recent clip. Hey, buddy, wish you were here, but I understand, you know, everybody's tired, everybody sleeps, everybody poops. I get it. But I appreciate you being here in the comments. But yes, a clip surfaced from an indie event that happened, I believe, this last week or maybe last week, between Speedball Mike Bailey and an independent talent who, I'm sorry, I don't have his name at the top of my head, but the clip was of Speedball hitting his finisher, the ultimate maneuver on the opponent who was on his knees and on his, I guess, forearms. And when Speedball landed on him, he definitely put a lot of pressure on his opponent's back. There seemed to have been a little bit of a bend. And I don't laugh at that because that is a serious, you know, potentially serious injury. The guy, I haven't heard of the guy actually being hurt. It just, you know, looked nasty. A lot of people saying that this was a stupid spot. A lot of people saying that Speedball was reckless with that move, that he should know better, that it's too dangerous a spot to be doing in front of a small crowd or at all. And I would just like to say, this has been his finish for the last decade or so. Speedball Mike Bailey is one of the best talents on the planet. Accidents happen. Unfortunate. They really do. But he has hit this move for the last 10 years or so without much of a hitch. I never want to victim blame. We don't victim blame here at the Mark It Down podcast. But one thing I will say, there has been no discourse. There has been discourse. Plenty of discourse. So much discourse. We're having discourse right now. I'm discoursing with you. And no, I don't sleep. Not well, at least. I usually need like a cuddle. When AJ Styles hurt his opponent with the Styles Clash, yes, there were some calls saying that the Styles Clash was a dangerous maneuver, but the people who knew better knew it was the person who took the move who was at fault. AJ had been hitting the Styles Clash for years and years, and you could count on one hand how many people who have been seriously hurt by the maneuver. So if you're not well trained to take a move, voice that. Don't take the move. But I can't blame the person for doing a move that they've done countless times throughout their career as all of a sudden being dangerous because the other person didn't know what they were doing. Won't take it. Speedball doesn't deserve it. And, well, again, I very much hope his opponent is okay. I believe he is. I think it's just ridiculous how people have reacted to this maneuver being hit and what came from it. So just take it easy, everybody. It's not that. Yes, it's serious. Injuries are always serious, whether or not this one happened or not. But just, you know, be cool. Be cool. Anyway, that's me hopping off from my soapbox, and now we're going to get back to our regularly scheduled programming, where we have our main event, Eric Young taking on Nick Aldis. A Nick Aldis who lost at Slammiversary, and an Eric Young who returned at Slammiversary. This was a nice, standard, not slow, but slow-paced match between these two men who have a lot of history and a lot of time with Impact Wrestling. After a lot of back and forth and a lot of, some surprise spots, I mean, nothing too shocking for these guys. You know, I don't want to bury it because I love Eric Young and I do like Aldis, but none of this really blew up with me. But bottom line, Aldis tried going for the cloverleaf, and Eric Young was able to roll him up. Got the kick out at 2, but suddenly Eric pulls out the pile driver and hits the 1-2-3 on Nick Aldis. From all reports, this is Nick Aldis's last appearance with the company. We're not going to see him in Impact moving forward. Supposedly, the people up north in WWE are interested in signing Aldis, at least in some capacity, to the company, whether that's as a producer or as a wrestler. Time will tell. But WWE or not, all reports are saying Nick Aldis' short return to the company is over. So good way to do it, going out on your back, putting over another talent, in this case, Eric Young. Eric Young, who also was put on his back as post-match while celebrating, gets jumped, attacked by the Design, by Diener and Big Con. There's clearly a feud that's brewing here ever since Eric Young's return, taking on Diener at Slammiversary in the tag match as Scott D'Amore's partner. You know, I don't have anything against the Design. I don't have anything against Diener or Big Con. I don't think they are as entertaining as Violent by Design was, but I'll take them for what they are. I definitely think they need another third member, even if it's not going to be Alan Angels anymore. But this is going to be a nice return feud for Eric Young, who has unfinished business, considering he was murdered by Diener before he left Impact. Yes, he was stabbed to death by Diener, and now he's just back. So that needs to be addressed. Maybe just a little bit. You know, just maybe a little bit. And after two massive choke slams from Big Con, Diener sits on Eric Young's carcass to end the show. Appreciate Aldis putting someone over. What the hell is his plan? Who knows? Maybe he will go to WWE. Maybe he just wants to stay a free agent, work the indies. Maybe he's hoping for an AEW contract. It feels like a pipe dream, in my opinion. But I wish him the best. I know not everyone's super hot on him, but I see his value. I definitely see his value. But, guys, that was Impact. It was a nice show. We're definitely getting the wheels moving as we get ready for Emergence at the end of this month. And then, or very early next month, I believe. And then Multiverse United, their crossover event with New Japan Pro Wrestling at the end of August. So very exciting stuff to look forward to, even if we're kind of in a lull period as we're resetting the board after Slammiversary. I enjoyed the show, and I, of course, enjoyed my time with you all. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. You know how this goes. We have social media. Someone will put it down below. Go check us out, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Threads, LinkedIn, MySpace, Foursquare, smoke signals in the sky. I think that's social media. It was a form of communication at one point. But yes, very grateful to have you here. I'm James Gisanti. This is the Jimpact Zone. Mark it down with us, and please watch Impact. Thank you. Have a good night. Bang.